Hey everyone, and welcome back to VFXY once again. So before starting, already you have noticed that my camera is not as it was earlier because my DSLR is not working and somehow I'm managing it with my GoPros. So definitely you have noticed the change, right? So in this video, I'm going to show you another beginner's guide of doing screen replacement. So in this video, I'm going to tell you how to use tracker, and also I'm going to tell you how we can extract reflections on screen so that your PIP shot should look very good. So without wasting any time, let's get started. Okay, already I have done this project, and if you can see over here, this is my scan plate and this is my final output. So if I'm going to play it, it's working pretty fine. My reflections are coming very good and my tracking is going very good. So before starting, I'll tell you that I have two footages. One footage is with my tracking markers, right? And another one is without tracking markers. So probably I'll give a link in the description so that you can go and you can download or you can purchase it from my website so you can practice along, right? So without wasting any time, I'm going to copy paste over here. Let's do it from scratch. So if I'm going to analyze my footage, I can see I'm having a reflection over here. I'm having a motion blur. So first thing first, we need to track this corners because I want to replace something on my laptop screen, right? So to do that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a tracker node. And keep it in mind that this is a beginner's guide for doing this. So I'm not going to introduce lens distortion workflow. So if needed, I can introduce in later videos. For that, you have to comment down below, right? So lens distortion part will not be covered in this video, right? So I'm going to use tracker. I'll go to frame number 0, and over here I'm going to either I can select this tool or I can hold Control and Alt, and I'm going to click over here, right? Also, I am going to rescale my search area and pattern area, and I'm going to switch on this thing so that I can know my tracker is going good or not. It's not necessary that it will track in one go. You have to do few manual tweakings as well, right? So I'm going to click track to end. And you can see it's going good, but I have to check, and I can surely see my tracker is not that great. So I have to figure it out a point where my tracker is misbehaving. So this is a good place. I can see I have kept it in center, and as soon as my motion blur is introduced, my tracking is going off center. So I'll introduce this. I'll do a manual tweakings. I'll reframe it, and probably I'll do a frame by frame tracking. So might be I have to keep eye on it. It should be in center, and as you can see, my tracker is behaving nicely, right? So by same way, I will track till end, and I have to keep eye that my tracker is not doing any kind of bad things. Right, like this, right? So my first track point is tracked now. So what I'll do, I will track all my 4 corners the same way I did, and I'll come back once this is done. Okay, so I have tracked each tracker, and you can see I'm having a good tracking information. Next step will be, I'll disconnect it. Next step will be to clean this thing. So it's pretty simple. Already I have made several videos on that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use one transform mask. So I'll use transform mask, and probably I'll start cleaning this thing. I'll hold on Control, and I'll keep my anchor point over here of my transform mask, and definitely I am going to check which tracker I have used to track this information. So as you can see over here, I have tracker number 3. So I'm going to take one roto shape. I'll connect this with my transform mask, and I'm going to draw a shape around it like this, right? I'll hold on Z just to give some roundness. I'll adjust it. Now what I'll do, I'll select spline, I'll right click over here, and I will go link to tracker 2, since it's tracker 2 because I'm using this tracker, and track number 3 I'm having, right? So I'll go over here, right click, link to tracker 2 and track number 3. As soon as I'm going to do that, it will change position, so need not to worry. Just you have to bring it back like this, right? And also what you need to do, I'm going to use these pixels to clean this up, right? So I'm going over here and probably I will do this. So as soon as I'm going to do this, you can easily see my cleanup is happening, right? Also you can see I'm having a hard edges, so I'm going to use a blur node just to soften it out. And you need not to worry about patches, because if once my insert will come, it won't make any problem, right? So I will do this and I'll check. As soon as I'm going over here, I can see I'm having few problems, so I'll go over here and I'll try to fix it like this. As you can see, I'm having a good result, might be, right? I'm not worried about some sort of detail, because once my insert will come, it will automatically will be good. So to save some time, what I'm going to do, I already have my cleanup setup. So I'm going over here, Control C and Control V. So you have an idea that how you have to do your cleanups. So I showed you a way. You can experiment with yourself. So as I'm going to connect this thing, you can easily see my cleanups are done, right? Now, next part is how to replace things, right? So just for an example, what I'm going to do, I have my insert, Control V. So this is my website. Again, I have used one static frame. Also, I'm going to take a node called merge and I'm going to connect this with my insert like this, right? And I'll arrange my comp file, and obvious it will look like this. So need not to worry. What you have to do, just disable the merge, and just to match my corners, I'm going to take a node called corner pin. It might possible you can take a single frame to Photoshop and you can do the placements and you can export that data to Nuke. That will also work, but since it's a beginner's guide, I'm not going to do that. After adding corner pin, I'm going to adjust my corners like this, and also I'm going to do the things, and make sure you have to do it on frame number first. It's not mandatory, but you have to make sure, right? So I'm going to match corner to corner like this. You have to be very careful. And once this is done, what you have to do, just I'm going over here and I'm going to enable it. But it's matching on frame number first, but as soon as I'm going to play it, obvious I don't have applied my tracking data yet. So to apply that data, what you have to do, just go double click over here and make sure you have selected all tracker, like shift select, just go to transform, and by default it will be none, but you have to make sure you are using match move and set reference frame to current frame. That is mandatory to do, right? After that, what you have to do, just go to tracker and you have to export corner pin 2D, right? So I'm going to create this and I will have another corner pin 2D which is coming from my tracking information, and I'm going to apply it. As soon as I'm going to apply it, you can easily see my insert is going with my camera motion, right? So this is basic thing I have done. Another thing we need to take care about, that my insert is looking little sharp and my footage or my scan plate is little out of focus, right? So you have to match it first. So I'm going to take a node called defocus like this, and in defocus I'll check if it's working. I think it's working pretty fine, but I think 0.6, 0.7 will work pretty fine to me. Let's check this. Yeah, this is softness is matching now, right? Again, you can easily see I'm having a good amount of motion blur in my footage, but in my insert I am not having any kind of motion blur. Just to enable it, you have to double click on corner pin, and in over here in motion blur you have to put it 1. You have to check whether it's working for you or not. So if I'm going to put 0, you can see I'm having my motion blur enabled. Also, I will definitely recommend to use shutter offset, not to use start. You have to do centered, right? All the cases centered works fine for me. If you want to increase motion blur, definitely you can increase it, but I won't recommend because it will slow down your process. Now you can see my softness and my motion blur is matching very nicely, right? So another thing I have to match my grade, color grade, right? As soon as I can see my black point is not matching, just to check what my black points are. So you can easily see this is the black point I can say, and here I am not having that black point, right? Also, if I'm going to lower down my gamma, you can see my white points are not matching the way it should be, right? So in this case I don't have white point reference, but you can see I'm having little bit of white point over here, which is again it's eyeballing you have to do. So to do that, what I'm going to make some space, and I will definitely take a grade node. But before taking grade node, it's recommended to use a node called unpremult and premult. So it will make sure that you are not changing any kind of edges, or due to color grading you are not changing your alpha, right? And also I will take a copy node and I will copy my alpha from here, right? So my alpha will be intact. And after unpremult I'm going to take grade node, right? So you can see my white point is a little brighter, so I will also try to match my white point somewhat like this. And also I'm having blue tint in my white point, so probably I will try to give some blue, might be like this, not exactly, but you have to make sure you are adding some sort of blue, right? So again, it's eyeballing. If you have to know more, I have already created one video how to match black points and white points, but since it's a beginner's guide, I'm not going to color picking thing. Now you can see my white points are almost matched. Now it's time to match my black points. So to see my black points, I'm going to increase my gain, and you can see my black points are laptop's black points is this, but this is way too dark. So I'll go over here, and definitely I will try to add something like this. So probably I can see now it's eyeballing, and if you want to add some sort of tint, might be bluish tint to it, so I can do this like this. Can you see that? Might be it will work. So again, it's all eyeballing. And if I'm going to check this, you can easily see my white points and black points are matching pretty fine. If needed, probably I can add something like, probably I'll do this. So again, it's personal preference. Now you can see my black points and white points are matching, my tracking is matching, my motion blur is matching, my softness is matching. But majority, you can see I am not having my reflections. Can you see that? I'm not having my reflections. So to do that, what I can do, probably I can take a keyer node, right? And I can connect my keyer node over here, and probably I'll do this if needed. Also, I can premult it. And after premult, what I can do, I can take a merge node and I can connect it over here. But it's looking pretty weird, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to merge this thing with screen blending mode, right? So you can easily see I'm having my reflections, but if you want to control it in a better way, so what I can do, I can do this. Can you see this? So I'm having my controls. Also, if you don't want to use this, you can directly use your footage and you can merge it over here in screen mode and your reflections will come. Since I am unpre-multing and pre-multing it, so definitely everything will be here, and I'm merging it in screen mode, so definitely only brighter pixels will come. But if you want a control, so you can use a luminance keyer, and if needed you can control it like this, right? So this is something you have to do it. Now if I'm going over here, you can see my reflections are on my insert, my tracking is perfectly fine, my motion blur is matching, and your shot is ready. Isn't it great? So this is pretty basic that you can start with. Again, if you are using any green screen, so there will be little challenge, like you have to key it out, you have to rotate your hand, interaction kind of things. Definitely if needed, I can create one more video where I am interacting with my screen. So for that you have to comment down below. Okay, one more thing you can try it out, like if I'm going over here in my footage and if I'm going to check this, so probably you can see some kind of grain. So what I'm going to do, I'm going over here after this, and I am going to make some space, and I'm going to take a node called noise, or grain, might be grain, yeah, grain is the node, and I'm going to connect this over here. And so you can see I'm having grain, but again this is your personal preference, so you have to match with your footage. So you can easily see I'm having lot more grain, so probably I'll go over here and I'll use this, and if needed I can come over here and I can control this thing probably. So now by doing this I have added my grain. So again you have to spend some time on grain, so that will be good for you. And if I'm going to play this, you can see my screen replacement has been done, my reflections are back, my tracking is done, and everything is looking pretty fine. So if needed you can use planar tracker node or planar tracker to do the tracking and all, it's all up to you. So I'll give both the footages with tracking point and without tracking point, so that you can experiment with both. So for that you have to go to my website and you can download it from there. So I hope this video will help you to understand the process of screen replacement inside Nuke in a better way. And if you think that this video is helping you, please don't forget to like this video, share this video, and if you're new to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe. With this said, this is VFX Vibe signing off. Have a good day.